Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today we've got lots of cruise news and updates, and so I wanted to share the ones with you that I think are really pertinent to all of us. And so first of all, I would like to welcome all of our Let's Go family members here, and also a welcome to all of you who are new. We are really glad that you're here. So first of all, like I said, we've got several stories that I think apply to everyone and kind of help us all know what's going on. The first one that I found that I thought would be value to all of us is that you might remember the Cunard, Queen Mary II ship sailed into New York on December 20th, and she ended up having 10 passengers on board who had tested positive for COVID. And so they had to get off and quarantine in hotels there in New York. And I want to point out that at the time that she had those 10 passengers who tested positive for COVID, there were 1,473 passengers on the ship. And so I checked it, and that's like 0.01%, like not even 1%, 0.01%. And so that is a really small percent of the passengers there. So that is not an outbreak or anything. Now we have some more news though from the Queen Mary II. She left and was going to go down to Barbados and then loop back up to New York before she took her next sailing. You know, she generally runs transatlantics from New York to Southampton, England and back. And so she went down to Barbados, and there last night the passengers got a message from the captain, a letter, and it said that we are not going to be going back up to New York as scheduled. We're going to go ahead and stay here in Barbados and take on more crew members as a precaution so that they would have enough crew members to handle all of their essential roles, it said. And then once they do all that, they are going to head back to Southampton so that they can keep their schedule of all their other cruises. And so what they're going to end up doing is flying the passengers who were not going to go on that sailing back to England. Those passengers are going to just be flown from Barbados to New York. And I'm sure that they will have to make arrangements for any of the passengers who were hoping to break. I don't know, this is my supposition. If there were any of those passengers that had to get off the ship and quarantine in the hotels in New York, if they are all better and if they need to go back to England or something, I am sure that Cunard will help them get back there. And so that is just what's going on. I thought it was I think it's awesome actually, because the CDC knows what is going on board the Queen Mary II, and she is not saying wait, stop, or anything like that. They are just taking on extra crew as a precaution, which I think is amazing. If you're worried that you're going to have crew members who are going to have to be quarantined for testing positive for COVID, especially with what's going on with the Omicron variant being so contagious, I think it's awesome that they are that careful. And so that's the first story that I wanted to let you know about. The second story I wanted to let you know about is that yesterday, I saw it late last night, and then Trish, one of our amazing Let's Go family members, posted it on our Facebook website. Mexico has announced that they intend to keep their ports open from now on to cruise ships. They want to keep their tourism going, and they have said that as long as the cruise ships are abiding by the rules set forth by the World Health Organization, you might know them by WHO, they will go ahead and let the passengers come ashore. And that, I think, is a really big deal. And I actually think it gives us I think it's very optimistic of Mexico, and I think it gives us I really like that they are planning and looking forward and thinking this is going to stick with us, and we have just got to figure out how to manage it and not stop dead in our tracks every time. And so I just took a minute and I looked up what the World Health Organization rules are for, if you've got positive people and everything, and what the CDC and the cruise lines themselves are already requiring and that they require of themselves is actually, I think, just in my opinion, it is even more stringent than what what the World Health Organization says. And so I think Mexico is in good standing to do this. And I kind of hope that other places will do it as we move forward with cruising and not just automatically turn ships away if they've got some people. They don't ever test any airplanes before they fly into any of these. Well, I guess they do. If you're going to fly, well, it depends on the country. Some countries that you fly to, you have to show a negative test result in order to get on that flight. Not all of them, though. And I should look that up about Mexico. But anyway, I think it's really great that Mexico is working closely with the cruise lines in order to be able to do this. Now, the next story is about Puerto Rico, and I just wanted to put this in there in case any of our family members here have a cruise that is intended to call at the port there in San Juan, Puerto Rico, or any ports in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico has said that if a cruise ship is going to be able to call at the port, that everyone 12 and older has to be vaccinated on that ship. And so with that, they have said that they have already had some cruise lines cancel, and Asmara and Carnival and Celebrity are the ones that I read in the early story about that. And so I don't know if they've, I don't know if any other cruise lines have canceled by now. That was really early this morning that I saw that. And so anyway, just know that if you have a cruise and it is scheduled to stop in San Juan, that it will depend on what the your cruise line is requiring on your sailing, if you'll be able to go there or not. Let's see, I've got one more thing that I wanted to tell you. Also, I wanted to let you know that Carnival announced just today, December 29th, that most of their itineraries remain unchanged. And I love that they put that out there. We've heard about the Carnival Freedom that was not able to go to a couple of her ports over in the Caribbean, and then the Carnival Panorama was not able to go most recently into Puerto Vallarta this week. But really, when you think of it, think how many cruise ships they've got sailing. They've got a lot sailing, and so does everybody else, and most of their itineraries are remaining unchanged. And so I also thought that that was very hopeful, and I just wanted to bring you some happy cruise news. And so if any of you have any questions on anything, or you come across anything that you think is valuable that all of us would want to know, will you please put that message in the comments, and I'll take a look at it and get the information out to everybody. When we started our channel, I kind of thought that I was just going to be talking to you. Well, I really thought that we were just going to be trying to offer tips to where, places you want to travel, and talk about cruises and places that we've been and want to go and all this kind of stuff. But then all of this has happened to do with COVID, and especially more recently. And I really just am putting on the hat of sharing it with you, because I think that it's really important that we are all educated and know what's going on as we decide which cruises we're going to take and what travel we're going to do right now. And so I hope you find this valuable. If you do appreciate these updates and want to stay up to date with us, as well as look forward to content from us from places we've been and where we're going and everything, will you consider subscribing to our channel? We'd just love to have you with us, and we think that you would like being here too. And so thank you. Also, if you have found this video helpful or enjoyable at all, will you please give us a thumbs up, because that will really help our channel as well. I really appreciate it. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.